Hey everybody, it's Kate. We are in week 2 of 2022 and it's colder than you know what here in Ontario. I'm in my kitchen because I'm next to the wood stove because it's flipping cold in my office, and I am wanting to share a little stress reliever for you that is so easy. And this is a great thing. You teachers out there, you can teach your kids this, you can teach them this online. You can teach your elderly parents this. You can teach people who are sick this. You yourself can have access to something like this almost any time of day. So I'm going to teach it to you. It's very simple. I just shared it a little bit ago with my Vitality Refresher clients, and they loved it. So I thought I would share it with you. Are you ready? You can do this with me. It's so simple. So first of all, if you know me at all, I'm always talking about just pausing, rock back on your heels, take 3 conscious breaths. So whenever you're stressed, you can always start there. But you can add this quick little practice to that. And this, again, is something you can teach. Little kids will love this. They will love this. And like I said, anyone you know who's not feeling well, you yourself, if you're feeling overwhelmed, you can do this in the car, you can do this in a boat, you can do this on your walk, you can do this standing still, you can do this sitting down, you can do this in a meeting that is boring you. You can certainly do this when you are sitting in some Zoom thing that is driving you nuts. You ready? It's called 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And what you do is this. You take your 3 conscious breaths, which I always encourage because that just kind of, well, first of all, it may be the first time during the day that you have taken a conscious breath. So you may find that that is incredibly useful. And I always begin, anytime I'm going to do any breathing exercise, and I have a bunch of them that I love, that I share with my clients and people I love, I always begin with an exhale. Now, if you come across someone who is uptight and out of sight, you may be tempted to say to them, oh, take a deep breath. I'm going to encourage that you actually say, exhale. Just blow all that old, stale air out. And if they're already empty, just pause for a beat. So whenever I was teaching yoga live, that's what I would say. Let's all exhale or stay empty. So you can join me now. You're going to exhale or stay empty. Take a breath in through your nose if you can. And then let your exhale be twice as long as your inhale. Okay, I'm going to give you a second in case you try this. And then breath number 2 should be a little longer than the first. And then we're going to get to the new part here, but we got to get this first. So sip, 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 sip. When you think you're full, take one more little sip, feel your collarbone smile, and then exhale. Let that exhale be twice as long as your inhale. And then we'll do one more, and then I'll teach you this. Okay, so you're going to inhale, sip, sip, sip. This is the biggest breath of your day. You might feel a little woozy. You might feel a little lightheaded. And that, my friends, is because perhaps you have been breathing in a shallow way. So this is good. Sit down if you feel a little woozy. Okay, I haven't lost anybody yet. And then exhale, let that go. And once you've let that third conscious breath go, then you can practice this with me. So now you're just going to let your breathing level off. And I want you to notice 5 things you can see. Just pick 5 things right in front of you. You don't even have to turn your head, that you can see. And if all you can see is, white space, then pick some marks on the wall or some patterns in the snow, or certainly you can see 5 things. Okay, once you have your 5 things, you're still continuing to breathe normally. Then pick 4 things that you can touch. So 4 things you can touch. So I'm sitting at my kitchen counter. I have my hands are on my counter, so I can feel my table. I can feel my butt in the chair. I can feel my AirPods in my ears, so that's 3. Remember, counting, math is my kryptonite. I can actually feel my glasses on my nose for 4. Now, I've done this before standing in a field. So I just had my arms down at my sides, and I could feel my upper arm against my ribs, and I could feel like the butt of my hands on my thighs, and I could feel my feet on the ground, and I could feel the cold air on my upper lip. So that was my 4, like if I was just standing somewhere, okay? So first things, 5 things you can see, then 4 things you can touch. And then the third thing is 3 things you can hear. So right now I can hear the crackling of the wood stove. I can hear the hum of the fridge. And I can hear music in the studio because Lila's in the studio working out. I can just hear the light thump. I think it's like, I'm trying to pick the song. But anyway, those are 3 things I can hear, all right? So you can pick 3 things you can hear. Maybe it's your heart if you're concentrating. Maybe it's your breathing. And then 2 things you can smell. I can smell the wood stove. And I can smell my my chapstick. I can smell that. Okay, so those are 2 things that I can smell. What about you? And then the last one is 1 thing you can taste. And for me, right now, it's coffee. I was just drinking some coffee. Now, if it was cocktail hour and I wasn't still alcohol-free, I'm like 103 days now, then I might be tasting tequila. I hope if you're on Eastern Standard Time Zone that you don't taste tequila at 11:45 in the morning, but you might. And no judgment here. Absolutely no judgment here. I am not pushing that people go dry. Not even close. So that's what it is. So you kind of pause. I did this the other night when I was feeling sad. I was actually with other people and I was feeling sad. And I was listening. But I was like, okay, Kate, 5 things you can see. 4 things you can touch, right? And I didn't want to move around, so I was just kind of noticing what I was already touching. Right forearm on my right thigh, left forearm on my left thigh, or, right? I mean, you can keep it very simple. And then I was like, all right, 3 things you can hear. People were eating. I could hear the fork. I could hear somebody who eats but with the fork on their teeth, which makes me crazy. But I tried to stay focused. So 3 things I could hear. And then I did 2 things I could smell, and I could smell what we were eating, and I could smell someone's perfume. I could smell Lila. Actually, she always smells so good. Lila smells so good that, yeah, it's crazy. When we go upstairs and you walk past her room, and it's like the kid smells good. I mean, she's not without issues. None of us are without issues, but that kid, she's got smelling good down. Anyway, and then 1 thing you can taste. And that night, I think we were having pizza. We were having pizza from the bakery, and I could taste the pizza, right? So 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can smell, 2 things you can, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing that you can taste. And what it does is it just kind of brings you back to right now. And the nice thing is it's not terribly woo-woo, and it's not complicated. So that's why you can teach it to kids. You can teach it to elderly people. You can teach it to people who are having a panic attack. You can teach it to yourself when you're lying in bed. And, it's kind of funny. You might, if you were lying in bed and it was pitch black, which you should be sleeping in the dark because that's so much better for you hormonally, including your kids. Sorry if it's true. You can look it up. Let's say you were in the dark and you couldn't see much. You ever close your eyes and you can see things? So maybe you close your eyes and you can see, what are the colors that you see? Or maybe you can imagine 5 things you can see. Or you can think of pictures from your day, 5 little snapshots from your day that were good. Surely to God, there's something good in your day, right? And then 4 things that you can touch in your bed. Could be your head on the pillow. Could be your heels on the foot of the bed. Could be your elbows on your sides. It doesn't matter, right? You could put your hand. I like to sleep with my right hand on my heart and my left hand on the pit of my abdomen. So my right hand on my heart, below my collarbones, above my chest. And then my left hand, I like to put that below my belly button, above my pubic bone, and just kind of relax and let my elbows hang. That's how I like to sleep sometimes when I'm feeling kind of scattered or stressed or anxious. And then here, maybe you can hear the crack of the cold outside. Maybe you can hear the wind. Maybe you can hear your dog snoring. And then things that you can smell. Sleep has a smell. Maybe you sleep alone. Maybe you sleep with your dog. Maybe you sleep with a partner. But there should be smells. The smell of your house, the smell of your room, the smell of the couch if you fell asleep in your living room because you're up late at night Netflixing because you can't sleep. And then 1 thing you can taste. And maybe it's tequila. maybe it's the taste of that little sip of water from that you have a glass next to your bed. But anyway, I wanted to share that with you because I thought it might be helpful. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you are interested in learning more things like this with me, my next refresh starts on the 1st, and I'm doing it now for women, men, and privately. So you just go to katelynch.com and you can learn more. Women, men, and privately. right? So anyway, that's it. That's all I got for you. But was thinking about you. It's week 2 of January. I realize a lot of people's nerves are just shot. It's these are like still, they remain tender times and baby steps. It's one foot in front of the other. And stay curious. See you soon.